Hello everyone, welcome to Learn DAX channel. My name is Siddesh and in this video we continue with our end-to-end DAX project video series, and this is the third part of that video series. If you haven't watched the first and second part, I encourage you to watch those videos first. I'll leave the link in the description. So for this video we have been given three more business problems which we are going to solve. So the first problem that we have to solve is to identify the product with the highest quantity sold. Now if you have watched my second video in which I have been given the problem that identify the products with the highest sales amount. So if I simply change one parameter in it, which is instead of sales amount, I use the sales quantity as the argument, then I'll get the output. So how we are going to do that? Let's use the summarize function and the top end function. So I quickly go to modeling. I will create a new table. I'll call it highest quantity sold product is equal to summarize sales. So we are grouping by the product name because we want the product name and the sold quantity. So the second argument is going to group by the column name, which is going to be the product name in this case. So the product name and the third is the column that we are creating, which is the total quantity. And the total quantity is going to be nothing but the sum of sales quantity so if I quickly bring these two columns here on my visual, so I get the product name and the corresponding quantity. Let me change the formatting, and now like we have been doing for all the measures or all the queries that we have created, that we use drag and drop feature of Power BI to validate if we are moving in the right direction. So I'll drag the product name from the product table and the sales quantity from the sales table and sort it in descending order of the quantity sold. And as I can see here, these two tables are an identical copy of each other. So while you have 9 here, you have 9 here, and you have 9 here. The smartwatch has 6 as the quantity. We also see smartwatch having quantity sold as 6. The total quantity is also 52, it's 52. So it's essentially identical, which kind of validates that the DAX measure, that DAX query that we have written is actually correct. So we have knocked off the first problem. Not completely yet, because the problem statement says that identify the product with the highest quantity sold. So in our output, the only thing that we should get is smartphone. So for that, again, like we have used top end function, I'm going to wrap this thing around a top end function inside a top end function rather. And the first argument is the number of values that I want. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. If the business asks for top 3, I'll write 3. If it asks for only one value, I'll write 1. Then this is the table output that we are going to pass in as the argument in my second argument. And then on what basis do we want to sort this? So it has to be the total quantity. So I'll write a total quantity, and it has to be sorted in descending order so that the highest value comes at the top. I'll hit enter, and yeah, this is what I get, smartphone as the highest quantity sold. We can further evaluate by going to the sales table, filtering for the product ID corresponding to smartphone, and then going to the quantity column and checking if it is 9. But I don't think it is necessary. We have already validated our result. So we can move on to the second question now. So the second question is calculate the monthly sales. Now again, this is going to be fairly simple. I will just use the summarize function like before, and the group by column in this case is going to be the sales order date month. So I am going to group by the month, and the sales are going to be aggregated accordingly. So I will create a new table. I will call it monthly sales is equal to summarize. It will be sales table. Okay, looks like I ran into some error. So it will be sales table. Then I am grouping by the month, so it should be the sales order date month. to have the order date over here. Okay, then month, then the new column that I'm creating is the sales amount. So in order to get the aggregation of the sales amount, I'm going to use the sum function, and I'll just pass in the sales amount, and once I've done, I'll close the bracket. So I'll quickly grab this month and the sales amount, bring it here onto my visual, change the formatting, sort it in descending order. So now I have the DAX query. Now I want to validate if the output is correct or not, for which I will simply grab the order date month from the sales table and the quantity again, or the sales amount from the sales table, and I'll quickly pull it here. I will again sort this in descending order of the sales amount, and I'll change the formatting. So the tables look identical to each other if I compare any month. December is 5305, August is 4675, 4080, right until we reach to the bottom where we have the total amount corresponding to 29765 here, 29765 in the table that we have used using drag and drop. So we have validated the DAX query that we have written for the second business problem as well. Now let's move on to the third business problem, which is to calculate the average discount given per product. Now this is an interesting one because the discount given can be in terms of two different parameters. It could be either the average discount percentage or the discount amount. Let's consider both in this use case scenario. So I will create a new table again in which I'll write the average discount per product will be, again I'll use the summarize function. We have been using summarize function so often that I actually believe that by the end of this video series, summarize function you can just write it anytime. If someone asks you to group by something, like identify the product with the sales quantity, or identify the region with the sales quantity, or identify the payment type and the sales quantity, you'll just be able to quickly use the summarize, group the values and give the output. So coming back, I have the sales as the first argument, then I will have the product name, because we are, oh, not this product name, I'll have to pass in the column name as the argument. Then I will use the average discount percentage. That will be nothing but the average of the discount. So I will show you the table before you see the output, because there are two columns. One is the discount percentage, the other is the discount amount, and we are going to view both of those values in our average table output. So the second output will be average discount amount, and that is going to be average of discount amount and I think that should be it. So before we see the output, let's go to our sales table, and here I have discount being expressed as decimals, which is essentially percentage, which means 0.1 corresponds to 10%, 0.05 corresponds to 5%, and so on and so forth. And likewise, I also have a calculated column which is a discount amount, and the discount amount is the amount in the currency. It could be rupees, it could be dollars, it could be anything. And in this case, so while I'm also going to calculate the discount amount, the average of the discount amount, as well as the average discount percentage. So for example, if I have the product ID 101, the discount is varying for each transaction that's happening for each order, because for the first one it's 0.15, second it's 0.1, the third and fourth have no discount, and the last one is 0.1. And similarly, the discount amount is varying for the 5 sales that we have made. So in essence, we are going to get the average of this discount percentage as well as the discount amount for each product. So let's go back and check the output. So the table that we created in this case was the average discount per product. So the first thing I get is the product name, Then I have the average discount per product. This will be the percentage, and this should give me the amount. So I just squeeze this a little bit to create some more space. Change the formatting. So yeah, this looks good. Now what we want to do is we want to verify if the output that we've gotten using the DAX query, if it's correct or not. So let's take any example of a product that has sold quantity more than one. Let's go back to our sales table. So product ID 101 has sold 9. So it has had, basically I want a product ID which has had more than one entry in the sales table, so that for an average there are going to be like some values. For example, in this case there are 5 sales, so the average discount percentage will be the sum of all these 5 values divided by 5. And similarly, average discount amount for this product is going to be the sum of this discount amount divided by 5. So let me just check what exactly is product ID 101. If I go to the products table, smartphone, okay, smartphone is our product ID 101. So if I check smartphone, so it says that the product average discount percentage for smartphone is 0.07 and the average discount amount is 85. So let's verify that manually. Let's go to the sales table, and the discount amount and the discount percentage should be, so let's first calculate the average discount percentage. So it will be 0.15 plus 0.1 plus 0.1 divided by 5 should give me 0.07. Let's just check. Okay, that's correct. Now let me go back to this view and let me calculate the average discount amount as well. So it is 225 plus 100 plus 100 divided by 5. That should give me 85. If I check my visual again, yeah, it's 85. So we have verified using one example. We can do the verifications for other examples as well, but yeah, let's stick to just one example, and you can verify it further while you're following along this video or practicing by yourself. So this brings us to the end of the third video of this series, and if you find any value from it, please share it with your friends. And if you feel like there's something more that I can learn and provide using my channel, please let me know in the comments. If you have any feedback, also please let me know in the comments. And as I say at the end of every video, happy learning and thanks for watching.